Her and I are not seeing eye to eye. And I would blame it all on her, but I realize that I'm not loyal to her either. I really don't care.
You don't think that, like, you guys could
suck it up for the sake of the kids? Because that's what it'd be. Stop. You've got to stop pushing this on me, Robyn.
Someone at TLC must actually think the viewers are very dumb, because the idea that we already watched Christine's wedding and now we're having to watch it a second time doesn't make sense. The fact that we have Robyn and Kody trying to rewrite history, I don't get it. And the pettiness, the audacity to tell Meri that bring me back my stuff. I think Kody expected Meri to bring back the quilt, and I love how petty she was in the sense that she cut it up and sent him his pieces. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, season 19, episode 16. I'm going to repeat again. I don't know how Kody and Robyn expect to rewrite history. I don't know how they expect people that have followed them for 19 seasons to suddenly forget everything that's happened and start to buy whatever it is, revamped versions of themselves they're trying to sell to us. So they go to Coyote Pass. They're on these quad bikes. They're Robyn is trying to tell us that she's a speed demon and she loves riding and she's been doing this since she was very young. And it's like, this doesn't align with the way you told us you grew up. You told us that you grew up in a Mormon family that was very religious. And so for us to go from that to suddenly you telling us you've been riding quad bikes, that doesn't make sense. And so they were both speeding and she fell over, and then Kody had to run and production had to run to check on her. And she was sort of saying she's fine, it's nothing serious and whatever. They were able to get her up, and then she went and she sat with Kody because he wanted to watch the sunset with him. And And then they went to a point where Kody said he wanted to show her the sunset, he wanted to be romantic. This was his goal. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. They're trying to sell us that their relationship is amazing, and I'm not buying it. They then go into this conversation about Robyn asking Kody, how do you feel? You've been very angry for a while. Are you feeling much better? Are you in a better place? And it's like, why is he angry? Why is he angry? He didn't sort of nurture his relationships with his other wives. He abandoned them because they weren't behaving the way he wanted them to behave. And because of that, they packed their bags and left. And for Robyn to say, the other wives I felt, moved away and sort of turned their attention away and focused on the children that had moved away. And it's like, what did you expect? Did you expect, Meri to suddenly ignore Leon because Leon has moved away? Or did you expect Christine to, avoid Aspen and McKelty, who are now married, and McKelty has children? Those are Christine's grandchildren. She's going to want to keep in touch with them. The same happens with Janelle. Janelle has got children. At least 4 of them had moved away. Well, 3 of them, I think it was Hunter. Oh my God, what's his name? The oldest one, Cody's oldest son. I've forgotten his name. And Maddie. And so Maddie has got children. So Janelle would want to keep in touch with those children and get to know her grandchildren. The fact that your children haven't left the coop doesn't mean that everybody else should ignore their children just because yours is still at home, and they should only focus on the children at home. What happens to the children and the relationships? What do you expect them to do, to forget them just because the children have moved away? If you were in the same position, I would like to believe that you would want to sort of keep in touch with your other children. So make it make sense. Someone needs to tell Kody that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Seriously. And he's going to regret the choices he's making, because apparently he told Meri had made a quilt out of their t-shirts over the years, either in childhood or when they were married and they visited places, they were buying t-shirts, and Meri had sewn them into a quilt. And so Kody came back at her and said, he wanted his t-shirts back because it's sad that none of his other wives ever got any of that, because, everything seemed to go to Meri. And it's like, but Meri came up with the idea. Did they ask Meri for the t-shirts? And she said no. I have a feeling he had this conversation with Robyn, and Robyn said, I want them. Let's get her to give it back. And so he, in his pettiness, decided to sort of take them from Meri and sort of say, I want them back, whether he expected Meri to fight him or whatever. Meri is at her healed point. This is what I always say. When someone is in a relationship, never tell them to leave. They will leave when they're good and ready. And if they leave once they're good and ready, they will never look back. And this is Meri, because she cut up that rug and that quilt and sort of put aside Kody's t-shirts and I think was ready to send them off to him because she said she didn't need the quilt, so he could have it. And it's like, how can you be so petty as to ask someone for that? They go into this conversation where Meri reveals that apparently when they got to Vegas, Kody told her that she had been very horrible to him for 20 years of their marriage. So he was going to be horrible to her for 20 years. So he gave her a list of things that he wanted her to do in order for their marriage to work. And so Meri went through that list, did everything on that list. And then when she finished, he ignored her. I am surprised that he was the only one who was allowed to come up with a sort of a list. She should have come up with her own list, because at the end of the day, for him to say Meri wasn't understanding, I really don't get it. And I don't buy it, because Meri allowed him to marry, or Meri sat there and watched him marry her ex-sister-in-law, Janelle. And then he went and he brought Christine, and then he went and he married the love of his life with the help of Meri, playing Meri. And so for him to say she was horrible to him all the time, no, don't lie to us. We're not idiots. We've all watched this show. You were in love with Meri. Something went wrong. Your new wife came in with ideas. You turned on Meri, and suddenly Meri is now the enemy. Make it make sense. Kody doesn't know that when a woman is angry, even the devil takes note. Even the devil takes notes, and he is continuing to provoke Meri. And one day she's going to come out and say her piece, and then he's going to realize that that is the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life, because she is going to open her mouth, and it's not going to be like Christine, because Meri, in my opinion, has always tried to sort of preserve the family, preserve the image. And the day she opens her mouth, I'm sitting front and center with my bowl of popcorn ready to chew. Someone at Sister Wives really needs to, or at TLC needs to be asked a lot of questions, because why do we get to watch Christine's wedding again? We've already watched the special. There's no need for you to take snippets of it and show it to us again. Why do we need to watch that? I don't get it. So we get to see Christine and her family go to Moab. David has his bachelor party. Christine has sort of a ladies' pamper day with her friends and family, and her children are excited because she's getting married, because they love how she's being loved on by David. It's totally different to how their dad treated their mum. So for them, this is something they really wanted for their mum, and they're excited. We get to see her try on her makeup. They have a spa day. Janelle comes down with her children. They have the wedding rehearsal, and there is nothing new, because I watched the special, so there is nothing new to talk about. You then have them say Avalon is missing, and I think it was just for the drama. Otherwise, there was nothing else really stand out about that. You have the boat, ride with the rest of the children. And it's really sad to see Garrison there, knowing that he's now late. It was just a snippet, but I don't know how TLC were able to play that, or where the family gave them the go-ahead to play the clip of Garrison in it, because you had Hunter sort of give Christine a drink, and they were urging her to chug until she eventually chugged. And so I don't know. I hope Janelle gave the go-ahead and they're okay for it to be played, because that would be sort of bringing up memories for the family that they are trying to sort of overcome, or still trying to process at this point. Yes, you have Christine's children, her daughters, you have her mum, all saying they love David, and the way that he loves on Christine, the way that he cares for Christine, this is totally different. This is night and day. David, the bar is very low. The bar is at rock bottom. Anything he does is amazing, because Kody treated Christine like crap. So anything David does is amazing as far as the family is concerned. And I'm happy for her that she's finally getting, someone who loves her the way she deserves to be loved, the way she's being treated, the way she deserves to be treated. And I wish them all the best. You then have Kody and Robyn continue their conversation. I think they're trying to make it seem like, Robyn was really championing for all the wives, and she's not to blame for the breakdown of the family, because everybody, including myself, has blamed Robyn for the breakdown of the family. This doesn't need a soothsayer. This doesn't need an interpreter. This doesn't need, a man of God. This is obvious by just watching it, that Robyn was sort of she's not 100% responsible, but she was the main part, because Kody said, he thought he was in love with his former wives until he got into a relationship with Robyn, and then he realized what love is. For Robyn to try and sort of push him to say, can you go and try and make things work with Janelle? I wonder what Janelle's children think when they watch this. I wonder what they think. And this is not going to make them like her any more than they do at the moment. This is actually going to leave a bitter taste in their mouths because everyone has said Kody was being controlled. And this is just evidence that he's being controlled. For him to try and sort of say, oh, you can't make me try and do the same thing that I did with Meri. At the end of the day, Janelle is treating me the way Meri treated me. Both Robyn and Kody, if they're being honest, know that they don't want him with Janelle. They want Janelle's money and Janelle's, financial head to sort of manage their finances, but they don't want Janelle as part of their sort of marriage. Let's be honest. They loved Janelle and Meri that they brought in the finance and Christine that she brought in the harmony, but they never wanted them as part of their marriage. So the idea that we would have all this rewriting of history and we have, Robyn trying to say to Kody, you're trying to rewrite history. No, all of you are trying to rewrite history. We saw what we saw over the past 19 seasons. Yes, it's not always 24/7, but what we saw of it was enough to paint a picture that the two of you used the other women, the OG3, for their finances. And that was it. Everything else that you wanted, you got, but they had to compromise all the time. They had to compromise in Vegas. They had to compromise by uprooting themselves from Vegas to move to Flagstaff because you wanted to move to Flagstaff. And then when you got there, you treated them like crap. And when they lifted their heads and said, no, we're not going to do that, that's when suddenly Kody decided the marriages were over. So please don't play victim and don't pretend as though you wanted them as a part of your marriage. You both wanted to be monogamous and this is what you got and this is where we are. What more can we say? Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 15. Bye guys.